Hello and welcome to the Bible Difficulties and Answers podcast, the show where we tackle tough questions about Scripture and uncover the profound lessons hidden within its stories. I'm your host, Lance Smith, and today we're exploring a fascinating and often puzzling topic. How many wives did Esau have? And we're diving deep into some really interesting names from the Hebrew Bible. Let's start with a foundational verse found from Genesis 26:34 from the New Living Translation. At the age of 40, Esau married two Hittite wives, Judith, the daughter of Beeri, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon. Now, here's the big question. How do we reconcile the differences in the names and numbers of Esau's wives across various biblical passages? Could these discrepancies reflect cultural naming conventions, or do they signify something deeper about Esau's character and the tensions within his family? And what lessons might we draw from the choices Esau made in his personal life? As we dig into this topic, I invite you to reflect. Why does Scripture preserve these seemingly contradictory accounts? Is it just about recording history, or is there a larger truth about relationships, faithfulness, and the consequences of our decisions that we're meant to uncover? Let's begin by unpacking the problem. Here's a problem as defined by the Big Book of Bible Difficulties, where they write this. Genesis 26:34 states that Esau married Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. However, Genesis 36:2-3 states that Esau's wives were Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter. Did Esau marry Elon's daughter Basemath or his daughter Adah? Did Esau have 2, 3, or 4 wives? And here's a solution for the Big Book of Bible Difficulties. The wives of Esau were 4: Judith, the daughter of Beeri, Basemath, who was also named Adah, the daughter of Elon, Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, and Basemath, the daughter of Ishmael. The reason Judith is not mentioned in Genesis 36:2-3 is because she bore him no children. And Genesis 36 is a statement of the account of the descendants of Esau. This is Genesis 36:1. Also, it was common practice for men and women to be known by more than one name. Apparently, Basemath, the daughter of Elon, was also named Adah, and is so identified in Genesis 36:2 in order to distinguish her from Basemath, the daughter of Ishmael. So Esau had 4 wives. Right. This explanation highlights 2 important points. 1, it was common for individuals in biblical times to have multiple names. And 2, the focus in Genesis 36 is on Esau's lineage, which excludes Judith due to her lack of children. Okay, that's a lot of information. It's helpful to get a summary of what we just covered here. For that, let's look at the June 29th, 2007 devotional from Ligonier.org titled Blessings for Esau, where we read the following as the author is speaking about Genesis chapter 36. Several things are notable about this chapter. First, the names of Esau's Canaanite wives in 36:1-3 do not match the names of his wives given in 26:34-35 and 28 verse 9. It is possible that some of Esau's wives changed their names after they married him, thereby accounting for these differences. However, the more likely explanation is that Esau married many more wives after fraternizing with the Hittites, which we see in 26:34-35, and the Ishmaelites, and that's in chapter 28, verse 9. This squares well with the description of Esau's sexual immorality in Hebrews 12:15-17. If Isaac's oldest son lived for the moment, forfeiting his spiritual blessing to satiate his physical hunger, which we read in Genesis 25:29-34, surely he would be capable of giving into his momentary lusts by taking as many wives as his heart desired, end quote. That last sentence is important. It appears Esau would be the type of person who would take as many wives as he pleased. My research showed some sources claiming as many as 6 wives. However, most scholarship says that Esau, the elder son of Isaac, had 4 wives, according to the most comprehensive interpretation of the biblical accounts. The 4 wives are as follows. Number 1, Judith, also known as Oholibamah, the daughter of Beri the Hittite. 2, Basemath, also called Ada, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. 3, Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah. And 4, Basemath, also known as Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael. So why the confusion? The reasons boil down to name changes, omissions, and cultural context. So that's where we'll begin with the explanation of the discrepancies. The first is name changes. It was not uncommon for women to receive new names upon marriage in ancient times. This explains why some wives appear to have multiple names. There are several examples in the Bible where women had multiple names, and here are just a few. One was Esther, also known as Hadassah. Her name was likely changed when she entered the Persian court, possibly in honor of the goddess Ishtar. A second is Naomi. After losing her husband and 2 sons in Moab, she called herself Mara, meaning bitter. The name Mary is actually a form of Mara. And a third is Sarai. Sarai's name was changed to Sarah by God. Sarai meant my princess, while Sarah simply means princess. These name changes often reflect significant events or changes in a person's life. In some cases, they were the result of cultural practices or divine intervention. It's important to note that having multiple names was not uncommon in biblical times and could occur for various reasons, including translation between languages, marriage, or significant life events. So I'm very comfortable with the name change explanation here. The second would be omissions. Judith is not mentioned in Genesis 36 because that chapter focuses on the records of the generations of Esau, and she likely bore no children. Does this omission highlight a broader cultural focus on lineage and legacy? I think so. And it also matches with the Big Book of Bible Difficulties explanation as well. The third would be cultural context. Esau initially married 2 Hittite women, Canaanites, which displeased his parents. He later married Ishmael's daughter, possibly to appease them. Now, when you read Genesis 26:35, this makes sense. Here's the verse. But Esau's wives made life miserable for Isaac and Rebekah. Mike James, from his August 31st article, Biblical Discrepancies, Esau's Wives, adds additional information regarding the cultural context with this, and I quote, "When you look at all the scriptures once more, notice Genesis 26 mentions him taking 2 wives that were Hittites. The Hittites were Canaanites. Genesis 36 mentions 2 Canaanite wives. Remember, the Israelites were not supposed to get mixed up with the Canaanites because of religious differences. That may be why Esau then selects his 3rd wife. In Genesis 28, 8 through 9, Esau may have taken a wife of Ishmael because Ishmael was a son, through Hagar, of his father. These verses tell us Isaac was not happy that Esau had taken 2 wives from the Canaanites. In Genesis 28, verse 6, we read that Esau also probably figures out that he should not have married the Canaanite women, end quote. Could his marriage to Ishmael's daughter, Mahalath, have been an attempt to make amends? What does this say about Esau's impulsive nature and his strained relationship with Isaac and Rebekah? Oh my, he should have listened to mom and dad. So to make sense of it all, we need a reconciliation of the biblical passages. First, Genesis 26:34 mentions Judah and Basemath, who are the Hittites. Genesis 28:9 introduces Mahalath, who is Ishmael's daughter. And thirdly, Genesis 36, 2 through 3, lists Ada, Oholibamah, and Basemath. This overlap suggests that Ada is another name for the first Basemath, and Mahalath is another name for the second Basemath. This framework harmonizes the accounts while shedding light on Esau's complex marital life. What does this all mean? Esau's choices in marriage weren't just personal, they had profound implications for his family and his legacy. By marrying Canaanite women, he disregarded his parents' wishes, causing deep grief. His later marriage to Mahalath, Ishmael's daughter, seems like an attempt to repair that relationship, but it may have been too little too late. This tangled web of relationships also reflects Esau's impulsive nature. Remember, he sold his birthright for a bowl of stew. If he was willing to trade something so sacred for immediate gratification, doesn't it make sense that his approach to marriage might reflect the same recklessness? As we've explored today, the story of Esau's wives is more than just a list of names. It's a mirror reflecting Esau's character, his struggles, and the cultural tensions of his time. It reminds us that every choice we make, especially those tied to relationships, can have far-reaching consequences. So, let me leave you with this. What lessons can we draw from Esau's story about our own decision-making? Are we, like Esau, prone to impulsive choices that conflict with the guidance of those who care for us, or even with God's words? How can we learn to honor those relationships and make choices that reflect not just our desires, but our faith? Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the life and relationships of Esau. Next week, we'll tackle another fun question as we explore Genesis 27, 42 through 44. Did Jacob return to Haran to flee Esau or to get a wife? Until next time, keep asking these tough questions because understanding Scripture isn't just about solving puzzles. It's about uncovering truths that transform our lives. As always, we love hearing from our listeners. Please join our Bible Difficulties and Answers Facebook page where you can interact with me and other followers of the show. You may also reach us at our website, BibleDifficultiesandAnswers.podbean.com, or you may reach out to me directly at our email address, BibleDifficultiesandAnswers@gmail.com, with any questions, comments, concerns, fits of righteous indignation, or just to say hi. I'm always glad to hear from our listeners. Also, please like and subscribe to this podcast. Tell a friend or two as well. And also write a review and give it a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, or any of your venues of choice. It really does help get the word out about the most amazing book ever written. Again, I'm Lance Smith. Until next time, I wish you good luck, good health, and God bless. So long, everybody.